thank you for having me here today. How many folks have not heard of COCORAHS before? So, okay, good. So I got a little primer at the beginning just to tell who we are and what we do. So we're going to talk about, we got really three main decision tools for decision support for drought. And here we go. So actually coming up on our 24th year as a network this year, but 25 years ago, flood in Fort Collins got us to thinking about having individuals map and measure rainfall. And so COCORAHS was based on this Fort Collins flood in 1997. Our goal is to provide both high quality precipitation data and, you can't see below that, what I wrote back. Oh, can we hide that at all?
Good morning. I'm floating.
There we go. So educational resources and outreach. So not only do we ask people to give us something, but we like to give stuff back. And so we want to make people climate literate out there with COCORAHS. There we go. Am I cooking this one? No. Yeah, so we measure basically three things precipitation-wise: rainfall data, we provide snowfall data, and also hail data. And we're one of the biggest repositories of hail data in the United States. So that's kind of a neat thing that we do as well. There we go. There's our COCORAHS website. If you haven't been there, I've also passed out brochures. So you guys have those with all the information on them at the bottom. So 25,000 plus volunteers, active observers across the U.S. We're in Canada, we're in the Bahamas, Virgin Islands, just starting with Guam, and also in Puerto Rico. So each one of those dots out there is an individual that goes to their backyard each morning to measure precipitation. And we use the 4-inch diameter high capacity plastic rain gauge, which you see going around there, around $35, so pretty reasonable. Measures to the 100th of an inch in the inner tube and holds about 11.5 inches before it overflows. Observers report 24-hour precipitation. Early each morning around 7 a.m. we give a little leeway on either time. They can use the COCORAHS app. They can actually go and put in the daily precipitation form online. We have a place for observation notes. So these are helpful for anecdotal information, especially when it's heavy rain or it's been dry for a long time. They'll put information in that you can take a look at source, and that is available for anybody to look at these reports. So here they're available immediately for the public to view and use. Here's a date a couple weeks ago, I think, but you can see it actually is an accumulation of a monthly precipitation total. So you can set the different parameters on the website to show how much rain fell in different parts of the country. But you can see all the dots. And there's a lot of sparse areas in the Southwest. We could certainly use more observers out there. So our interactive mapping system, you can take a look there at the states. We have a bunch of different parameters you can set on the right. And so that's helpful as well. You can look at daily, weekly, customizer. This just came out 2 years ago, and it's been a really great tool. And you can zoom in right down to the city level. So here's a look at Las Cruces. Dave, you're probably on here somewhere on this map, but you can really drill down and get a great look at what fell where. And again, so the more dense the network, the better you can see the different patterns that fall across the area. So it's three simple ways of helping drought decision support. One is the precipitation observations, two is the condition reports, and three are the ET gauge reports for reference evapotranspiration. So the big gauge that we're looking at there, that's the ET gauge. The other one is the rain gauge. So we went to each. So precipitation measurements. And for precipitation, so rainfall, we really do a good job with that. So as we talk about easing out of drought conditions, how much rain has fallen when we go maybe from a D3 to a D2 and so forth. And so you can, again, run this on a parameter of days or daily or a month or whatever your desire is on that here. Also, when it doesn't rain, I love this picture. This is one of my favorite shots somebody sent me a while back of the microburst that felt it was over Phoenix a while back. And so we want to know where it didn't rain also. Zeros are important, and the longer people put those in, the more we can see how drought starts to develop. On the bottom here, these are stations reporting zero from April 15th to May 20th. So that should look familiar to a lot of folks here in Arizona and New Mexico. So all those folks are putting in zero every day. And so, again, it's important to know where it doesn't rain. That's a great drought tool to use. And then next, snow measurements. So the value of the info is to basically look at the snowpack at remote locations, what's starting to happen with that. We ask people, we call them Sweet Mondays, snow water equivalent. We have people measure the snow melted down. And so we ask every Monday if they can, during the late winter, to put that in. We get a good idea of what the snowpacks look like. Number two, the other thing is condition monitoring. So this is the same spot, 2 years apart, on our way to Atmos out here. Russell recognized that time, probably drive on LaPorte Avenue. I always look, a while back, Mark Sotos come up with some interesting slogans for drought. Cows getting powdered milk. I thought that's a fun one there. But so for drought monitoring, people go in, do conditioning monitoring, put in each, I'll go into that in a second. They can type in, we ask them once a week to go in and report their conditions. So what's it look like? There's the condition scale bar at the top. We can put that information in, anecdotal stuff. We've got different guidelines. So if you look at the map here, you'll see where the triangle is red and upside down, that's dry. Of course, the blue pointing the other way is wet condition. So that's the U.S. Drought Monitor on the back of that there. And so a lot of folks will use this. Here's a zoom in here, look at Tucson, and then there's a place where they can put in anecdotal information. So early onset of summer temps, around 100, started watering outdoor plants more frequently, sharp dropping flowers, Palo Verde trees, and so forth. So that's really helpful stuff to get a picture of what's happening in different areas. And this map, if I went back, there's a slider. We can go back and forth and look at how it changes over time. So you can take a look at that and see what's developing in different areas. Guidance was put together. So the folks at the CISA down in South Carolina put these different condition monitoring report guides for different parts of the country. Here's one from the Southwest. So it helps folks as they go online and look. They can say, okay, my region looks like this. How can I start filling in information? So that's all on the website, and have folks looking at that there. Here's the report. So when you go in, you can click the box, you put the date in, click the box there. You can put a description in, and then there's different categories you can check off as well. So all that stuff gets put together, and then it goes into as far as one of those reports that we just showed. Easy to use forms, 5 minutes it takes to do one of these when you're putting in your regular information. And then we have also a tutorial. So we're looking at, here's what is mildly wet, stuff like that. So we're looking at both of those here. But here we go. So this should be number 3, reference evapotranspiration. So not only what comes down, the precip, but what goes back up into the atmosphere. And so these ET gauges we have deployed around the country. Here we go. So we have about 97 of them as on May 25th this year. It varies from year to year, but folks can go in as well and report the ET each morning. You take a look at that. Just look at the gauge. The gauge that's in the back there. There on the graph, the water balance. So what comes up and what comes down. And if we zoom in back in 2012, this is one in Illinois and showing how flash drought actually onset there. You can see, so the blue is the precip, and then where the evapotranspiration occurs, or where the dryness is the red. So we can see the quick onset of that. So these are great tools out there to look at for making drought decision support. The Midwest Regional Climate Center puts together a map for us around the country. They, I don't think they've updated it for 2022 yet. They're just getting ready to do that. Of course, we don't do this in the winter in a lot of places because the gauge will freeze up and so forth. But there's the map. You can look at 1 day, 7 days, up to 30 to 60 days with that there. So also, we try to promote the National Drought Mitigation Center's Visual Drought Atlas, and we want to help out with that. We started out a while back working with Mark Schaefer down at the Skip on field photo weekends. And we did this for a long time where we'd have people send in photos of what their landscape looked like on several times a year. Basically, President's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. Now we transferred over to the Visual Drought Atlas, and we still promote that. So again, getting a picture and helping, it's a collaborative effort. We're all helping each other out here. So you might be in here and say, okay, I'd like to put one of these in my backyard. What do I do? Pretty easy. Sign up on the website, obtain one of the gauges. We've got a training slideshow and some animations on how to measure. Set up a gauge in a good location in your backyard and just start observing daily and report online. So pretty simple. And with that, you know, some people say, oh, I can't find observers in my neighborhood. We don't have a lot of people. Well, we solved this in some parts of the country. So thank you very much.